वॉइस टेस्ट कर लीजिए एक बार।
ठीक है नवीन विजिबल
एक बार वॉइस टेस्ट कर लीजिए।
but we are not able to hear your voice please Naveen live हो गया
Are we audible from Dakshina Kannada, Karnataka?
yeah now you are audible also okay thank you
Thank you. Record video. Put up video.
तो ज्वाइन करने से पहले बस एक बार पहले
कलेक्टर आ गया
एक बार आप म्यूटेड रहो। Good evening, everyone. I welcome JS and MD SPM sir and all the participating states secretaries and MDs, as well as the collectors who are listening into our collector Samvad today. Sir, we have started this collector Samvad from today onwards, and it will be a monthly feature. And today, 5 districts all over the country are presenting their inspirational and inspirational works that they have done in their jurisdiction. So, sir, and after that, there would be a question and answer session for 15 minutes where all other participants would be able to ask these collectors about any doubts or issues that they have. Now, I would request JS sir to give his opening remarks, and thereafter we would take up the districts one by one, sir.
Thank you, Kritika. First of all, may I request all the state MDs to switch on their videos, the state MDs and the state teams, because this has been kept as a national exposure for all the states also, as well as for all the collectors. We had a first review of the collector Samvad, I think before the elections, and we saw that it gave tremendous exposure not just to the collectors who were themselves presenting, but also to the other districts who were listening in. And we were very happy to see that it generated a lot of positive enthusiasm about the work being done in the districts. The Honorable Minister MOJS also has indicated that in due course of time, he would like to sit in on these presentations, because when we had discussed it with the Honorable Minister, he was very happy with this initiative, and he was saying that आप लोग अभी शुरू कर लीजिए, but 2-3 महीने बाद हम भी बैठेंगे. And the Honorable MOS also was very keen. All of you know that the SBM has been also included in the PM Awards, in the Good Governance PM Awards. So SBM is a very high priority mission for the country right now. And we are very happy to see that the CEOs of the Jilla Parishad as well as the collectors are doing some sterling work in this regard. So I will not waste any more time. First of all, congratulations in advance to the collectors who have been shortlisted here today. It is just a pat on the back for the excellent work that you're doing in the districts. And our objective is to give you a national platform so that all of you emerge as true brand ambassadors of Swachh Bharat mission. And we hope that others will get inspired by your best practices and would like to duplicate them in their districts. This will be a monthly feature now. So this month we are having these 5 young people who are going to be presenting it. And I will request all the state teams which have joined to please review the work of their collectors and send monthly nominations, because we are asking for just 1 nomination per state. So the best collector of that state will get nominated by the state, and then we will shortlist them and pick out 5. So the process of selection is fairly rigorous. So this just as an advance information, and over to you. And I will now request Kritika to handle the rest of the proceedings, and we will have the presentations first. And if we have time, we can talk to them before the next person comes up. But after that, otherwise you miss out on the sequencing. So we'll take the question answer immediately after the presentation of that collector. So over to you, Kritika.
Thank you, sir. So the first presentation would be by DC Chhindwara from MP state. So I would request the concerned team to please share your PPT. Over to you, sir.
सर नमस्कार सर.
नमस्ते.
सर हम लोगों का वॉस ऑन व्हील एक इनिशिएटिव है सर. इसमें हम लोगों ने देखा कि विलेज पंचायत और इंस्टीट्यूशंस जो होते हैं, जैसे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, आंगनवाड़ी है, स्कूल्स हैं, पंचायत के जो टॉयलेट्स हैं, क्लीनलीनेस के कारण ख़राब पड़े रहते थे या उनकी सफाई प्रॉपर नहीं होती थी, रिपेयरिंग प्रॉपर नहीं हो पाती थी. उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हमारे पास स्वच्छता साथी ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल थे सर. तो उनके लिए हम लोगों ने सोचा कि इनको जो मॉडर्न इक्विपमेंट्स दे करके इनको काम कराया जाए. तो इनके हम लोगों ने प्लान करके क्लस्टर्स फिर इसके बनाए जो हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट था, इसके ऑब्जेक्टिव यही थे कि सर कम्युनिटी टॉयलेट्स ठीक से क्लीन हो जाएं, हाउस होल्ड टॉयलेट ठीक से क्लीन हो जाएं, और हमारा जो स्वच्छ भारत मिशन का पर्पज है कि ओडीएफ या ओडीएफ प्लस जो विलेज पंचायतें हैं उनको स्टेटस को और अच्छे से कैसे रखा जा सकता है और कंटिन्यू कैसे रखा जा सकता है। इस तरीके से स्वच्छ भारत 2.0 जो था, जिसमें हाउस होल्ड टॉयलेट्स को हमारा शौचालय जो था अभियान, उसमें भी हम लोगों ने इसमें काम किया। इसके लिए हम लोगों ने जो काम किया उसको इस तरीके से किया कि क्लस्टर्स हम लोगों ने कुछ कुछ पंचायतों के लिए रखे सर, बिकॉज कि सभी गांव में स्वच्छता साथी होते नहीं हैं, तो टॉयलेट्स की क्लीनिंग एक समस्या होती थी, इंस्टीट्यूशन टॉयलेट्स की। तो उसके लिए क्लस्टर ऑफ विलेजेस लेकर के 10 से 11 विलेजेस या विलेज पंचायत को लेकर के एक स्वच्छता साथी को असाइन किया गया। उनसे एक एग्रीमेंट साइन किया गया कि आप लोगों को हम लोग मिनिमम इतना वर्क देंगे। इसके लिए हमारे पास जो अनटाइड फंड था और टाइट फंड था, जो स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के 15 फाइनेंस कमीशन के और आईईसी का फंड था, इससे हम लोगों ने इसको हाई प्रेशर पंप्स, वॉशिंग मशीन्स, गम बूट्स, बाकी जो प्रोटेक्शन किट्स हैं, ड्रेस है, ग्लव्स है, मास्क है, हेलमेट है, गॉगल्स है, ये सारा, वाइपर्स हैं, जिससे कि उनको बहुत हाइजीनिक तरीके से ये टॉयलेट्स की क्लीनिंग हो। इसके लिए हम लोगों ने एक प्लेटफॉर्म भी तैयार किया, जैसे कि क्यूआर कोड के माध्यम से स्कैन करके जो सर्विस लेने वाला है, जैसे पंचायत है या कोई इंस्टीट्यूशंस है, तो उसको इस पर अप्लाई कर सकते थे क्यूआर कोड स्कैन करके। हम लोग का आगे जो स्टैप है, इसके लिए हम लोग एक ऐप भी सर बना रहे हैं, जिसके माध्यम से कि कोई भी जैसे ओला उबर हम लोग बुक करते हैं, उसी तरीके से किसी टॉयलेट क्लीनिंग के लिए ये बुक कर सकते हैं। हमारा स्वच्छता साथी बस ऑन व्हील्स जो प्लेटफॉर्म है, उसके माध्यम से वो विद इन जो रीच जहाँ पर भी है उसका है अवेलेबिलिटी, वहाँ पर जा कर के सर्विस प्रोवाइड करता है। बहुत साफ़ सुथरे टॉयलेट्स इससे हो रहे हैं। इससे एक लाइवलीहुड जनरेशन भी सर हुआ है। पहले शुरुआत में हमारे 3 स्वच्छता साथी ही रजिस्टर्ड थे जो इसमें आगे आए थे, परंतु अब जो इनकम इतनी अच्छी हो रही है, साथ ही जो हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन टॉयलेट्स हैं इतने अच्छे तरीके से साफ़ हो रहे हैं कि हमारे बहुत सारे डिपार्टमेंट से हमारे स्वच्छता साथी वास ऑन व्हील्स को ही इंगेज कर लिया है सफाई मित्र के रूप में। साथ ही जो स्कूल्स हैं, आंगनवाड़ीज़ हैं, ये सारी चीज़ें उसमें अच्छे से साफ़ होने लगी हैं। हाउस होल्ड के लिए जो हम लोगों ने अभी जो अभियान भारत सरकार ने चलाया था, उसमें हाउस होल्ड को भी टारगेट किया था। जो हमारा शौचालय हमारा सम्मान अभियान जो था सर, उसमें हाउस होल्ड भी बहुत सारे, लगभग 2000 से ज़्यादा हाउस होल्ड्स की सफाई ये लोग कर चुके हैं, और इनकी इनकम बहुत सारे लोगों की करीब 70,000 80,000 तक अभी जो सितंबर से स्टार्ट किया था उसके बाद से अभी तक हो चुकी है। जो ये लिस्ट है हमारी, उसमें अवेलेबल है। हमारा पहले टारगेट था कि एक स्वच्छता साथी महीने में लगभग 20 से 25,000 रुपए कमा सकता है, उसके आसपास या उससे ज़्यादा कई लोग कमा रहे हैं। तो ना केवल लाइवलीहुड इससे मिल रहा है, साथ में इससे फ़ायदा ये हो रहे हैं कि जो हमारे टॉयलेट्स हम लोगों ने स्वच्छ भारत मिशन में बनाए थे, चाहे वो इंडिविजुअल टॉयलेट्स हों चाहे इंस्टीट्यूशनल टॉयलेट्स हों, वो केवल बंद करके रखे थे या ताला लगा रहता था उनमें, तो अब कम से कम वो ओपन होने लगे, उनका यूज़ होने लगा है, पब्लिक के लिए अवेलेबल हैं वो, और बहुत क्लीन कंडीशन में अवेलेबल है। तो इस अभियान से स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के लिए जो इंस्टीट्यूशन टॉयलेट्स की सफाई बढ़ी है, तो जो जैसे स्कूलों में सफाई बढ़ने से स्कूलों की जो हाइजीन्स की प्रॉब्लम थी बच्चों के लिए, वो ठीक हो गया। आंगनवाड़ी के टॉयलेट जो गंदे पड़े रहते तो वो साफ़ होने लगे, तो वो बच्चों में एक सफाई का आदत और जो जो उनकी बीमारियां होती थी उससे बचाव हो रहा है। इंडिविजुअल हाउस होल्ड्स का जो सफाई इतने कम रेट्स, चूँकि हम लोगों ने जो 5 किलोमीटर या उससे कम है उसको 200 रुपये पर टॉयलेट दे रहे हैं, और 250 रुपये उससे ऊपर के में, तो इतना सस्ते सर्विसेज अवेलेबल होने के कारण इंडिविजुअल हाउस होल्ड भी इसमें काम करा रहे हैं। तो हमारा जो टॉयलेट स्वच्छ भारत मिशन में बना था उसका यूसेज बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है। इससे साथ ही की डिमांड काफ़ी बढ़ गई है। इसके लिए सर ये हमारा है, एक वीडियो मैं छोटा सा है सर, उसको दिखाना चाहता हूँ इसके लिए जो हम लोगों ने काम
in the canal is 2,000, remaining under below 2,000. This list also you will get Satwal Kalika Ustundi. It is Jan 30.
Guntur, please switch off your mic. Guntur, please switch off your mic. Yeah.
बोलो ऍक्च्युली आता एक जी पर्सन
शांत रीतीने ऐका. तुमचं कंप्लेंट ऐकून थोडं माइंड भेटायचं असेल म्हणून म्हटलं मी.
आता ऍक्च्युली यांच्या विषयांची
और
कंप्लीट है
इससे
ते
इसके जो इम्पैक्ट और आउटकम है सर, उसमें एक तो इनका जो बहुत ज़्यादा इसका डिमांड होने से हाउस होल्ड टॉयलेट थे उसका यूसेज बढ़ गया है, क्लीनलीनेस इसकी बढ़ गई है। साथ ही साथ जो हमारे स्वच्छता साथी हैं उनके लाइवलीहुड प्रमोशन के लिए उनको कुछ पैसा भी मिलने लगा। कुछ ऐसे स्वच्छता साथी हैं सर जो बेंगलोर से सर्विस छोड़ करके यहाँ आकर के इस काम में काम कर रहे हैं। तो क्वालिटी ऑफ क्लीनिंग बढ़ गई है सर, इसका जो हमारी बीमारियां होती थी वो कम हो गई हैं। साथ ही जो रेगुलर क्लीनिंग और मेंटेनेंस अगर टॉयलेट्स का हो रहा है तो हाउस होल्ड जो टॉयलेट्स हैं उसका यूसेज सर इससे बढ़ रहा है, जो कि स्वच्छ भारत मिशन का मोटो है। तो ये एक तरीके से इस तरह का सॉल्यूशन है कि आप कभी भी आप इसको कॉल कर सकते हैं, बुक कर सकते हैं। और इसका डिमांड जो पहले 3 लोगों से हमने माननीय गवर्नर सर के माध्यम से इसको इनॉग्रेट कराया था, अब वो बढ़ करके 25 हो गई। और बहुत सारे स्वच्छता साथी इसमें जुड़ना चाहते हैं। हमारे जो इंचार्ज मिनिस्टर हैं उन्होंने सीएम सर के सामने भी इसको प्रेजेंट किया था, तो उन्होंने कहा कि हो सकता है हम सारे स्टेट में इसको लागू करें। तो ये इसका बहुत अच्छा आउटकम है सर स्वच्छ भारत मिशन को जो हमारा मोटो है उसको इम्प्रूव करने के लिए। साथ ही इसका जो हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशनल टॉयलेट्स बंद पड़े रहते थे वो अब खुलने लगे हैं, यूज़ होने लगे हैं। तो क्लीनिनेस बढ़ गई, हाइजीन भी बढ़ रही है, ये उसके आउटकम है। थैंक यू सर, इतना ही मुझे।
थैंक यू शैलेंद्र जी. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी कॉम्प्लीमेंट यू. इट्स अ वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन एंड बहुत अच्छा लगा ये देखकर. आपका रेट बहुत रीजनेबल है एंड योर इसका नाम भी बहुत अच्छा है, वाउ सर्विस आप जो बोल रहे हैं. आई थिंक देयर आर लॉट ऑफ वेरी गुड थिंग्स दैट वन कैन सी. इज मिशन डायरेक्टर एमपी इज हियर? मिशन डायरेक्टर एमपी पीपीटी हटा लें. छिंदवाड़ा आप पीपीटी हटा लें.
सर
एमपी की टीम है. लगता है एमपी की टीम नहीं है. चलिए, तो we'll talk to them separately, but does anybody else want to ask any questions? I think it's a wonderful example of convergence. Does anybody else want to ask any questions on this? चलिए, बहुत बढ़िया शैलेंद्र जी. मैं रिक्वेस्ट यू कि आप इसका एक डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करके हम लोग भेज दीजिए, so that we will formally circulate it to all the districts in the country. I think it's a replicable national practice and we should push it.
थैंक यू सर, हम भेज देंगे सर, श्योर आई विल सेंड.
Wonderful, wonderful, very good work.
Thank you, sir. Now coming to the second presentation, which would be given by DM Aligarh from UP. Sir, I would request your team to start sharing the presentation. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Good evening, sir. Vishak this side. I hope I'm audible, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, हमारे जो intervention है is basically called as 1 रुपए में स्वच्छता. And we have tried to inculcate one of the cardinal principles of SBM Phase 1, that is community participation. Sir, the whole idea is in every village, SBM Phase 2 की तहत हम लोग solid waste management और infrastructure creation के लिए we have invested around 25 to 30 lakhs. We have around 852 villages in the district. So there are 2-3 questions which come up: how to ensure sustainability of the infrastructure that we have created through these funds, how to ensure the participation of community, and how to ensure sustainability. Sir, इसके लिए सबसे best solution है the SBM Phase 1 model that involved active participation of the community. It involved behavioral change through triggering and the participation of Nigarani Samitis. So the base idea is to go for a bottom-up approach. हम लोगों ने हर ग्राम पंचायत लेवल पे we conducted what is called as a Swachhata audit. Now the Swachhata audit is an exercise where the secretary of the gram panchayat and the pradhan and the members of the village, every single household member is represented in the Swachhata audit, and an audit of individual household is done as to how much solid waste comes out of a particular house. And on the basis of this, a Swachhata charge or Swachhata shulk is imposed on a particular house. A Swachhata shulk can be as minimum as 1 rupee per day. इसलिए सर हम लोगों ने 1 रुपये में स्वच्छता का टैगलाइन निकाला. 1 rupee per day, which is a bare minimum, which amounts to 30 rupees per month. Or there are some households where large amount of waste is being produced. They may be charged, say, 100 rupees per month. or even institutions like rural banks or the liquor shops or small banquet halls or small hospitals. They were charged different amounts, which ultimately gave a revenue stream. The revenue generation which comes up from this particular Swachhata audit, this can be utilized to number one, maintain the infrastructure which is created at the district at the village level, to further more sanitation related practices at the village level. You can invest in more e-rickshaws, you can invest in fogging machines, you can invest in Swachhata kits for the Safai Karmis at the village level. This is the whole concept of Ek Rupe Mein Swachhata. Next. So the strategy was like in the initial phase, we identified semi-urban villages where the population is above 100. We started with 29 villages and we subsequently stepped up the number of villages. And as on date, we have covered 435 revenue villages. Initially, the training, the triggering exercise of the village officials, including the Pradhan Secretary and the nodal officers. I mean, we assigned district level nodal officers to every Gram Panchayat. We ensured that the various line departments, including excise department, banks, health, education, all these line departments are on board. So I'll just give you an example. A rural bank, we called a meeting of the various banks in the district. The lead district manager organized a meeting. Banks were providing as high as 1,500 to 2,000 rupees to private sanitation teams for solid waste management. We requested them that this particular amount may be handed over the Gram Panchayat and they can do the solid waste management at the grassroots level. So now all these added up to the revenue stream of that particular village. And also the segregation of the collected garbage and subsequently forming forward linkages also ensure that there is a continuous revenue stream. Next. So as I explained, the step-by-step process include primary meetings with Pradhan Secretary and frontline workers. Then there's a nodal officer from the district level. The senior district level officer will be there. He'll be an active visitor. He'll be an active part of the audience of the Swachhata audit, but the Swachhata audit will be conducted by the Gram Panchayat. So it is a bottom-up exercise, not a top-down exercise, so that when the charges are framed, the charges are framed by the Gram Panchayat. The Gram Panchayat will identify that a particular person or a particular household is creating this much amount of solid waste. So they or the particular household should be imposed with say 30 rupees or 50 rupees or 100 rupees. Now, we even came up with this idea of a sanitation charge and a financial penalty. For example, in villages, so why we came up with this entire idea is that till the time we don't impose a small user charge, there will not be a community ownership. Now, when the user charge came into picture, then there is always this question of the free riders, the people who don't want to pay the user charge and they want to keep throwing the plastic waste in the open. So then we advise the Gram Panchayat that they can actually come up with a financial penalty to the people who are not adhering to this particular norm. So this kind of naming and shaming principle, which was again a very active component of the SBM phase 1, helped us to ensure that more and more people are on board on this particular campaign. So some pictures of the grassroots level community participation exercise, which helped us to onboard as many villages as possible. Next. 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 So we even got the help of UNICEF. So once we did the training of around 29 villages and saw the results, so we requested UNICEF at the state level to come up with a triggering module, because we didn't have a triggering module for SBM phase 2 for solid waste management. So we wanted them to ensure that the community participation is done in a very systematic manner. They came up with a training module. We were able to train 81 villages in the second phase. And subsequently now, as I mentioned earlier, we have 435 revenue villages of the district which are trained, and Ek Rupe Mein Swachhata campaign is actually being practiced in all those villages. Next. So this basically talks about the linkages. So a couple of things that we did was we installed a GPS tracker in all the collection vehicles. I explained the details later on, because now we are coming up with an app which gives us a heat map at the Gram Panchayat level, at the block level, as to which all are the households from where the garbage has been collected on a daily basis, which all are the households where the Swachhata Shulk has been collected on a regular basis, and who are the defaulters. So the heat map provides us an overall picture at the block level and at the district level as to where all interventions are required. One of the very important things that we did during the UNICEF immersion and during the training was to involve the kawadi walas or the rag pickers of the municipal corporation. The immersion site was identified in such a way that the rag pickers and the kawadi walas would identify and show the plastic waste which is of value, so that forward linkages can be made at the village level. Next. So this basically sums up the exercise which has been done at the grassroots level. One is the community level meeting. Second is a route chart for door-to-door collection. The route chart has been designed in such a manner that one e-rickshaw can cover around 250 households per day. So this is more or less like, say, village has around 500 plus households. The route chart is designed in such a way that 250 households will be covered in one day, and the next day, the second gully or mohalla will be covered, so that every second day door-to-door collection will be done from the village area. And subsequently, the sanitation charge, we have a WhatsApp group and a QR-based collection system, so that at the end of the month, the bill will be generated. And the app which I mentioned, so we'll have a SMS-based bill generation facility which will send the bill through the SMS and through WhatsApp at the end of the month now. Next. So this basically shows the coverage. We started with 29 GPs, and as on date, we have 435 GPs. Waste collection through e-rickshaw is made mandatory in all the GPs. Next. So this talks about the revenue generated. So we started with a total of 81 villages which were trained by the UNICEF team. In the month of March, we collected 7.3 lakhs as sanitation user charges of Swachhata Shulk. As on date, we have 435 revenue villages and total collection of 43.5 lakhs. So this particular money, so the way we motivate the village pradhans is by telling them that this particular money is their internal source of revenue, which can be utilized for sanitation purposes. Many pradhans say, so the door-to-door collection, the e-rickshaw costs approximately 1.5 lakh rupees. So many of them purchased an additional e-rickshaw. They paid around 10,000 through their collection charges, and they entered into an EMI mode and sustained the EMI through the collection charges. Many of them purchased sanitation-related safety equipments for their workers. Many of them purchased fogging machines. So this basically motivated the village pradhans and the village teams to involve more and more people and more community into the Swachhata Shulk campaign. So this basically gives a set of numbers. We were able to provide employment for around 200 people who were additionally deployed as sanitation workers. 30,000 odd mandates were generated. Waste collection vehicles were purchased. Fogging machines were purchased. RRC and sanitation workers kits were also purchased. Next. Next. So this is the app, the dashboard of the app that we are talking about. We are getting it done through a public sector bank who's doing as part of the CSR. So it gives us a heat map of the area. So if we can see the map on the right side, the red spots actually show the villages where door-to-door collection is lacking and needs to be stepped up. So we have separate heat maps for door-to-door waste collection. We have separate heat maps for the revenue generation and revenue collection, which helps us to identify the points of intervention wherever required. Next. Next. So I'll sign off by showing you the format of Swachhata audit. So the Swachhata audit, basically, I'm not very sure whether this is visible, but the Swachhata audit basically talks about the capacity of a particular person to pay. So we have given them this particular freedom that if suppose a person is not in a position to pay, the Gram Panchayat can decide that a particular household may be exempted from paying Swachhata Shulk. But the Swachhata audit basically identifies the number of people who are part of the household, how much waste is generated. If it is an excise shop, how much amount of plastic waste is generated. If it's a hospital, how much amount of plastic waste is generated. And on the basis of that, the Swachhata fee is decided and is imposed upon a particular institution. All in all, we have been getting very good response from the villages, because The internal revenue generation is also there. And number two, we don't really have to spend subsequent 15th FC funds to maintain the existing infrastructure. That's the biggest plus point because we have already invested, say, around 20 to 25 lakhs in every GP. So we don't need to invest further money in that. The money which needs to be invested in the RRC center for their internal maintenance and upkeep is generated through the door-to-door collection and through the 1 rupee Swachhata Shulk. Thank you, sir. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Vishak. Excellent presentation. Kudos to you and your entire team. Your entire presentation was like music to my ears. This is exactly what we've been requesting the states and the districts to do in the field of solid waste management. Only thing, you have gone and revised it with a huge number of innovations, and we are very, very happy. I think from the national level, the team will be getting back to you. We are very interested in your app and the way you are generating heat maps of areas where collection is not very good. That is an excellent innovation, and I must compliment you and your team for it. Who's running? Whose brainchild was this? Vishak, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I started this thing in my previous district. I started this campaign in my previous district. I was posted as DM in Kanpur Nagar. So I had started it there, and when I came to Aligarh, so I set up the team and we started the intervention here. We got the help from UNICEF also, and we were able to set up a good team, and the results came in, sir.
Okay. Now, one more question I have. You have 435 villages which are doing. How many of them are collecting both wet waste and dry waste? And how many are collecting only dry waste?
Sir, the majority collection is of the dry waste. The reason is that in the village areas, for example, the wet waste and especially the vegetable waste. So the vegetable waste is usually used for the consumption of the animals and the cattle. So we don't get that much amount of wet waste on a regular basis. Normally the plastic which comes out because the wet waste is more or less used for vermi and manure at the Gram Panchayat level itself. Even though we insist that the wet waste should also be collected, but I have to admit, sir, the collection mostly is of the dry waste and the plastic waste. But even though we insist on source segregation, our e-rickshaws have separate compartments for dry and wet waste. But I would say that the plastic waste collection is more, the wet waste collection is a bit less.
Okay, so that's one more myth busted. Our general impression was dry waste does not give you a good revenue stream, but you are showing that your 435 villages are giving you a revenue stream of 43 lakhs. This is per month figures, or you are talking about per annum?
No, sir, this is the overall revenue collection per annum. So the revenue stream is basically because of the contribution of the households. I mean, the 1 rupee per household revenue stream is basically from the household user charges.
How much do you get from selling of waste?
The selling of waste, the forward linkages have been established, sir, but I would say maybe less than 10% of the overall collection.
So as a way forward, I would request you to please apply your mind to see how you can collect wet waste. See, because at the national level, our feeling is the revenue model works best when both wet and dry waste are collected. And you are able to compost the wet waste and you're able to sell the wet waste and the compostable part. Of course, user charges are good. People are paying you for cleanliness, but you are not able to generate waste from wealth. I mean, you're not able to generate wealth from waste. So if I had to pick any flaw in your presentation or in the work, I wouldn't say it's a flaw. I would say it is a way forward for you, because now we would like to see officers like you how to get wet waste. See, that is the biggest challenge I am seeing at the national level. Districts are not able to get wet waste. Peri-urban areas, you get wet waste. I'm sure that is the case even in your state. So if you're getting wet waste from peri-urban areas, please see how you can push the wet waste culture into the non-peri-urban areas.
We have, sir, if you may permit, sir, we have this vermi and NADP units in almost every RRC center. But the problem is that the amount of investment, both time and money, which goes into that, and the forward linkages when it comes to revenue generation, that link, as you mentioned, we are not able to effectively implement. So we'll definitely look into it, sir, because there's a very good source of revenue in the urban areas, sir. In the municipal corporation area, they're doing a very good job by processing the wet waste. So we're trying to get tips from them. So we'll definitely work on that, sir.
Just a suggestion. Please look at any village. How many people have actually got cattle? See, it stands to reason that whatever wet waste is generated, they will keep it and they will feed it to the cattle. But where they don't have cattle, what do they do with the wet waste?
Fine, sir.
Okay, so, and my impression is in any village, not more than 20 to 25% of the households have cattle. So that means theoretically, at least 50% of the wet waste being generated in a village, you should be able to get. Anybody who doesn't have cattle, you should be able to get it. So you might like to verify this on the ground in a few villages and see whether this helps you in collecting wet waste at the district level. But anyway, thanks a lot. It's a wonderful presentation. I loved your waste audit format and the fact that you are able to charge differentially from person to person. That is a unique innovation. I think that is a wonderful innovation. Of course, we'd like to see more experiments being rolled out to see whether you are able to do this in all 435 villages without exception.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And people are paying the differential rates.
People are paying. So the shops are definitely paying a higher rate because, as I mentioned, the banks were the first to go on board because they're saying that we are paying 1,500 rupees to normal sanitation workers who have no credibility. So we're more than happy to provide it to a Gram Panchayat. So institutions definitely have a higher rate. Hotels, dhabas, liquor shops, all these institutions have a higher rate. Households, they start with 30 rupees. Slightly bigger households, farmhouses, they have a higher rate. Yes, sir, we have a differential rate in place.
So even in residential houses, you are able to charge differential rate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is something really, I'm very happy for this feedback. Thank you, Vishak. It was a lovely presentation. And over to you, Kritika, for the next presentation. In case anybody wants to ask any questions, this is your time to ask Vishak. Chali, I think go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The next presentation would be by DC Ernakulam from Kerala. Over to you, Umesh. Please ask your team to start sharing your PPT.
Is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Good evening, sir and ma'am. This is Umesh, District Collector Ernakulam. I will just give an overview over the next 8 to 10 minutes about the waste management strategies and the advances we have made with respect to rural sanitation in the district. This is an overview about the district. This is a district with a unique district in the sense it is a district with issues pertaining to the coast, pertaining to the hills, and also to the urban areas. And that it is one of the densely populated districts in the country itself. It is in the top tier when it comes to all districts. The others are routine figures related to sex ratio and scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So we have 13 municipalities, we have 82 Gram Panchayats, 14 block panchayats, 1 municipal corporation. When it comes to revenue divisions, we have 2 subdivisions and 7 taluks. We have 14 assembly constituencies and 4 parliamentary constituencies within the district. Before I go into this slide, I want to focus on one aspect. When it comes to waste management in the district, our focus is on source level management as far as bio waste is concerned. So this is the process flow I want to indicate or depict in this chart. So waste generation from the household and institutions, proper segregation into bio and non-bio. The most important aspect is we are trying to ensure that the biodegradable waste is managed at the household level itself or the institutional level itself. And non-biodegradable waste, we have our own kind of a green army, which is called Harita Karma Sena, which literally translates to the Green Karma Army, a group of women self-help neighborhood group people who are fully involved in waste management, collection of waste from the households. They collect the non-biodegradable waste and ensure that it reaches the collection facilities. So once it reaches the MCFs, the RRFs, and then it reaches the recyclers or for the reusing purpose. So basically, this is our policy. Decentralized waste management, my waste, my responsibility. Every household or every commercial institution manages its own waste at the household level itself. And wherever possible and wherever necessary, we encourage community level waste management. And I want to humbly submit that this is in tune with our state governments. The state government itself is fully behind a mission of a waste-free Kerala. We call it Malinya Mukta Nava Kerala, which translates to waste-free New Kerala by March 2025. So when it comes to decentralized waste management, we are focusing on enough adequate infrastructure. Infrastructure has been the major bottleneck as far as our steps towards a waste-free Ernakulam has been concerned. And over the last 1.5 years or 2 years, we have ensured that adequate material collection facilities are available in every Gram Panchayat. Our aim over the last 1.5 years, me and my team, our aim has been that every Panchayat should have an adequate MCF catering to its waste generation. If you generate 1 ton per day, if this Panchayat generates 2 tons per day, our MCF should be commensurate with the waste generation. Likewise, mini material collection. I'll be showing the pictures in the coming slides. We have mini material collection facilities. This is for like bottles, like bottle booths. I'll be showing pictures of the same. These are some examples of our material collection facilities. Over the last 1.5 years, we have ensured that every local body in this district, both rural and urban, 82 panchayats, 13 municipalities, have an MCF as well as mini material collection facilities as well. We have actually, as this slide shows, we have 1,469 mini MCFs across this 82 Gram Panchayats. And we have bottle booths. This is one innovation we have been able to do with the support of local bodies as well as NGOs as well, where we have innovative waste collection bins designed in the shape of a bottle placed by the local authorities in every nook and corner, so that any plastic bottles, they are encouraged to put it in those bottle booths. RRFs, we have 8 RRFs. These are the places where the secondary sorting of plastic and converting it into proper or recyclable, valuable resources is happening. So yes, we come to this motto: my waste, my responsibility. So as this slide shows, in Ernakulam, in the last 1.5 years, 1,80,468 households have received household waste management equipment. So there is, they have been given their own bio bins, they have their own compost bins, they have their own biodigesters, apartments. Even in one interesting feature is, in as far as Ernakulam is concerned, even rural areas have these flats or apartments. Even in such flats and apartments, we have ensured that each flat and apartment has its own waste management system. And when it comes to every household, we are trying to, through the local bodies, through the mechanism of district planning, I'll come to that in the next slide, we are ensuring that every household has its own biobin system, and they manage their biodegradable waste at the household level itself. So these are our warriors or the army, as I was mentioning, the Harita Karma Sena. As Kudumbashri has been an important contribution or an innovation made by the society and the government of Kerala over the past 25 years, where neighborhood self-help groups have been formed with women as the epicenter of it. And special consortiums have been formed in every panchayat. For example, if a panchayat has 15 wards, they have 30 Harita Karma Sena members. These Harita Karma Sena members, this picture which shows a smiling lady collecting waste. So basically, the Harita Karma Sena is our field warrior who ensures that the non-biodegradable waste is collected from every house. And it is becoming, it is not just about waste management, it is about creating a micro enterprise. We don't see it as a waste management mechanism alone. We see it as a way of empowering or ensuring that women have proper entrepreneurial outlets to grow. So every panchayat has these Harita Karma Sena consortiums, and they are crucial. They are very, very critical in this last mile collection from the households and ensuring these non-biodegradable waste reaches the material collection facilities. And this is something I wanted to highlight in this August forum is our district planning committees. The district planning committee, chaired by the district panchayat president and the district collector as the member secretary, there has been a clinical focus in ensuring that projects kept by the local bodies. Local bodies naturally have so many focus areas. They focus roads, they focus lights, they focus some retention walls. They have different aims. But myself, the district collector, along with the district panchayat president, who is in sync with this vision, we have ensured that waste management is the major thrust of all panchayats, all local bodies throughout this year. Just the next slide will clearly show. Just in the financial year 2024 to 25, we have kept 3,305 projects across the district worth 346.76 crores. These can be MCFs, these can be some sanitary waste incinerator, these can be some public common toilets, these can be a Tumbur Mori. Tumbur Mori is a community biodegradable waste management model. These can be for biobins. For example, a panchayat resides, I have 10 wards, I have say 1,000 people. Each of these families should get a biodegradable a biobin. That is also kept as a project. Basically, a DPC, the DPC is we do not see DPC as a mechanical forum where projects submitted by the local bodies are just approved. We see it as a forum where we decide what is the vision of this district. What is the vision of Ernakulam district in the year 2024-25? Waste-free Ernakulam. What should we do? We should ensure that funds from the local bodies are pooled towards waste management. And that this single slide clearly indicates how much thought process has gone from the local body side to ensure that waste management is the topmost priority of every local body. This 346.76 crores, 3,305 projects comprises every panchayat in this. I can vouch for it that 82 panchayats, each and every panchayat comes under this list. So this gives a snapshot: sanitation, solid waste, liquid waste, and the total. How many projects? 2,200 projects in the Gram Panchayat. It is something which not just Ernakulam, but Ernakulam has been pioneering the same, and other districts are also. We have 14 districts in Kerala. We have been using the district planning committee as an important tool when it comes to waste management and rural sanitation. So the two important challenges, one challenge which respected district collectors from Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh are presented. We have other respected colleagues presenting after me. One challenge which many other states will not face is the limited land availability. Kerala is a thin piece of land sandwiched between a coast and the Western Ghats, and so it's very densely populated. So the land availability for waste management projects, as a district collector, as the head of the revenue administration in the district, land availability has been a big challenge. I will come to that. So this slide, Ernakulam, the second point I want to highlight, state government gave special powers to the district collectors. We have these revenue revenue lands which are lying idle, which can be used for revenue projects, any other development projects. A special GO was issued where collectors can give it for waste management projects. And in the last few months alone, we have sanctioned 9 projects, around 8 acres for waste management alone. That has been the thrust or the focus of the district administration when it comes to waste management. So we have also ensured, the first slide shows, we have been focusing on fecal sludge treatment plant also. We have given 50 cents of land for a panchayat to set up, and the work is going on presently. We have ensured that every public institution, like the school, hospitals, they all have compost pits in every institution to ensure biodegradable waste is managed at the institutional level. And this is the app. The Haritha Mitram app is an application. It is a state level app, but it is an important intervention which clearly provides the Haritha Karma Sena, because Haritha Karma Sena, as I mentioned earlier, is a micro enterprise. How do we ensure that every household is keyed into this? By ensuring that every household pays the monthly fees. It will be 50 rupees in a panchayat per month. So so this app, every household in Ernakulam has this QR code stuck. The sticker is there in every house. So if the app is there in the smartphone of every Haritha Karma Sena member, they go and scan it and they check the status. What is the payment, whether they have paid for this month, it's paid for the previous month, and the waste collection schedules also. We have clear schedules. Haritha Karmasena has a clear schedule. This day they'll collect this kind of waste, paper waste and bottles, everything. There's a proper calendar which is monitored in this Haritha Mitra map. This is not a district specific app, but we have been, Ernakulam is one of the districts which has ensured that every local body has been onboarded into this, and at the district level, the district collector and the local self-government authorities, the joint director level officers monitor it on a regular basis. So, and the app also offers location maps for MCFs. Where is the map? Where is the MCF? Vehicles, how are they going? Because every vehicle is fitted with GPS. So those facilities are also available on this app. One very interesting area which we felt is something which has been a lacuna is the children. The children are the future, who have to set an agenda for the society. It is not enough if projects are forced top down from the administration or the local bodies. We want to ensure that every student feels my waste is my responsibility, because a student who's 15 years old today is going to be running the government in 10 years. So Haritha Sabhas we have conducted in 565 schools. For 8,000 students have participated, where students, interestingly, they have better ideas than officials also. They come up with very interesting ideas about a waste free New Kerala. They ask innocent questions, but which make us think, okay, this is how we can do. So there are 467 reports now. These reports, it's just 1 month old. Our entire team is going through these reports, and we are trying to devise new strategies or new projects based on these Haritha Sabhas. So these are some photos of these Haritha Sabhas. Our aim is that waste management is not the responsibility of the government. It's not the responsibility of the district collector or the local body. It's the responsibility of every citizen of this district. That awareness inculcation has been our aim, and this is an interesting project we have been doing. Collectors at school, where we create awareness among students as to what is waste segregation. How do they segregate? We have done this in 664 schools, where 4 bins we have kept for in every school, where the different kinds of waste, like paper waste or plastic waste, and they have been educated, they have been made aware about the importance of waste segregation, the first and key step in waste management. And we have conducted a workshop, because we have Kerala government has banned single-use plastic. So what are the alternatives, like bamboo being an alternative? How can cost-effective bamboo be alternative to our single-use plastic products? We conducted this workshop 5 to 6 months back in June 2024, where we invited NGOs from across the state to participate in this, and we had many interesting ideas, and we are taking up as projects through, as I mentioned earlier, through the district planning committee, where we are exploring the possibility of having alternatives to single-use plastic products. And one important thing which we do, Kerala naturally being like any other state, so much culture and so many religious festivals, so many festivals happen. We ensure that every government program, every festival in the district is complying with the green protocol. Green protocol means no paper cups, no disposable cups. It's all steel plates. It's double the effort, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, you ensure that the ground where the festival happens, or the venue where it happens, remains waste free. We have done this. This is just a list. Even elections we conducted as green elections. We ensured that no paper waste or no plastic waste was generated during the elections. And this is a contest which is an ongoing contest. It's an idea hackathon, where we have encouraged students, where we have encouraged institutions to develop innovative solutions for waste management. This is a project in process. We have announced attractive prizes already. 25 youngsters or 25 institutions have come forward with innovative solutions. Our aim is to link these ideas to local bodies, to the government bodies, so that these projects can be taken up in the financial year 25-26. Tourist spots, again, Kerala, it's called the God's own country and all. So we are trying to ensure that every tourist spot in our district are green tourist spots, basically bio waste, non-bio waste, dustbins, everything. We have already declared two destinations are 100% green tourist destinations. 3 more is in process. We'll be able to declare in January. Our aim is to declare all the tourist destinations in this district as green tourist spots by February 2025. And campuses, again, so this picture is that of, we had gone to a college in Muattabura where we had declared it as a green campus. Again, this is a motivation to the students themselves, to the administration of the educational institutions to ensure that they do green audits, they ensure that proper scientific waste management is happening in these institutions. And this is again for the institutions. We have awarded to 582 out of 1,368 different government institutions, etc. Green towns, again, along with panchayats, we have already been able to make 18 towns in the district as green towns. Harita Vidhi, this is something very interesting we are trying. One entire street will be it'll invite tourists where the sides of the road will be full of these pots, flower pots. We'll ensure the proper dustbins are there. We want to showcase these as green streets. Already we have done in 2 local bodies. Our aim is to expand it to ensure there is at least 1 green street in every panchayat. Again, awareness. As I told, our focus has been on inculcating the idea of my waste is my responsibility to students. We have conducted, this is a list of classes or the institutions where the district Suchitwa mission, our district Suchitwa mission and its resource persons have gone to every school and taught students. Now you come to anyone can come to Ernakulam, can ask our students what is waste management, what is aggregation, what is bio waste, what is non-bio waste. Any kid from the 7th standard, 8th standard can clearly tell. I think that is something which we consider as a real achievement, because once everyone is self-aware about all these things, the role of government becomes less actually. Again, another lesson, we have done a campaign providing name slips with cleanliness messages and all. So these are our government agencies. We have for non-bio waste and e-waste, we have Clean Kerala Company. For hazardous waste and biomedical waste, we have KEEL, Kerala Enviro Infrastructure Limited. We have very good private agencies which are working. As I was telling, Haritha Karmasenas will lift the non-bio waste from the households and link it to these agencies who will be involved in the process of recycling them. And we have community organizations. Again, Ernakulam is a district where it houses the High Court also, even advocates. Advocates form an important pressure group. They form their own NGOs. There are so many youth NGOs, advocate NGOs, so many different kinds of, it's very surprising. So they're all involved with us in this waste management. So in this presentation, I think I've overshot my time, but I'm sorry, I apologize for that. But in this presentation, what I've tried to present is that Ernakulam has been focusing. Just a second. Yeah. Ernakulam has been focusing on ensuring that my waste is my responsibility. Do bio waste management at the household level itself. As a district collector, as a district revenue authority, provide land to the local bodies for waste management projects. Ensure the district planning committee is very active. Do awareness through educational institutions, and that is the overview of what we collectors. I'm the district collector of Ernakulam, but I would say that we collectors in Kerala. In fact, our chief secretary Dr. Sharada Muralidharan Madam has been behind all of us in ensuring a proper waste-free Kerala. In fact, she's very proud to call us waste collectors actually. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Umesh. Lovely presentation. And I must appreciate you and admire you for your passion and for the enthusiasm which you bring to the job. Your passion and enthusiasm for the field of sanitation is very evident. I just hope the other collectors, the other waste collectors of Kerala are as committed and as passionate about sanitation as you are. Just one small suggestion. I mean, you're doing, I think I've picked out so many points from your presentation, which I think we should be writing to the states and asking them to introduce small things which you have done. Very, very good interventions. Just one suggestion for you. There is something known as a blue flag beach. And considering that Kerala has a huge coastline, I would request you to get your beaches of Ernakulam, especially, I mean, I leave it to you to decide one by one. They require a huge amount of investment. You will have to converge. But I think that is a good agenda for your district planning committee, you should plan for your touristy beaches. Please, I would like to see at least 2 or 3 beaches of Ernakulam and many more beaches of Kerala turning blue flag beaches. So suggestion to all the people who are listening in, wherever you have beaches, there is something known as a blue flag beach. Please see that you try for that certification. It's a very unique initiative. So that's all from my side. Excellent work, Umesh. Keep it up, and look forward to seeing you and more of your work in the near future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. We'll work on the blue flag certification. The Kapad in Kozhikode has done it. We have the Fort Kochi beach and Cherai beach, sir. We have started initial talks. Your words will be a motivation, sir. We'll work hard.
Just to assist you, I'm just called. I've called the team who does the blue flag beach certification. Hopefully tomorrow or day after we'll be having a meeting, and thereafter I'll hold a separate VC with the collectors who have potential beaches. So we'll also be there to support you. Thank you. Excellent work done, and I must admire you. Matlab, 82 panchayats spending 350 crores in just 82 panchayats is a huge amount of sanitation infrastructure. And I'm very happy to see that the district planning committee is working, has managed to converge all funds from various areas. My only grouse with Kerala is you are doing wonderful work, but you are not using SBM funds. I can't understand why you are not using SBM funds. So anyway, that's a discussion for another day. Today I will not bore the other people with this issue. Over to the next participant.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Umesh. Now I would request DC Koderma from Jharkhand to present on her topic. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So the earlier speakers have talked about how they are taking different kinds of initiatives for Swachh Bharat mission and the way forward for solid and liquid waste management. So, sir, Koderma is a small district. It has 6 blocks, and still we have few target left for the IHHL construction, like 12,000, 15,000 households are still, the gap is there. So primarily we are focusing firstly on completing those targets, not only in numbers, but also qualitatively, like the toilet should be of good quality. And we are focusing entirely on self-financing, that the beneficiary should own up, they should finance the toilet first, then we'll reimburse the funds. In this scenario, what happens that the beneficiary themselves are investing a bit more money. They are expanding the toilet, they are making it bigger, they are attaching a washroom to it. And in rural areas, like those rural areas which are on the fringes of urban area, they are focusing on, like, we are not discouraging the septic tank thing, but with the leach pit, we are promoting, if they want to go for septic tank with the leach pit, they can also go for those toilets. So first here we are targeting this IHL construction because we have 30% area is forested. We have lots of fallow land, and the population is very much scattered. So making a circuit-based plan is a bit of a challenge here in this place. So here we are promoting their own accountability and their usage rates to increase. So for that, we have various IEC activities and everything which is already there in the SPM thing. And next, this. And the second thing, when we talk about that we have achieved open defecation free panchayats and villages are there. The second thing when we move forward is the solid and liquid waste, which is being generated in the villages. Now for scattered populations, and where we have, like, there are 15 households, then there is a gap of suppose 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, and then there are 15 to 20 households. Here, drainage channels are not really successful, sir. So we have totally focused on making soak pits by convergence from 15 Finance and Narega. Nade pits are there, vermicompost, like sir was talking about wet waste. So I would also like to flag here, sir, that we have a very huge cattle population, and almost all the households have cattle in their place. So kitchen waste is not really a problem here, but the grey water which is coming out of the households, that is a problem, and the dry waste, especially the single-use plastics. So here, as an urban area, we face that now we are focusing on dry and wet waste segregation, and we are moving forward for segregation places, and then they are bailing out, and then we are going for management of plastic. already there is a lot of legacy waste which has been created in urban areas. So we don't want that legacy waste to be created in rural area as well, because rural area has a potential waste generation per day. As we see that plastic has already reached the rural areas. Even if it is hard to reach area, plastic has already reached there. And grey water is also a problem. So entirely we are focusing here that the waste collection should be done by the community people. The community, the mukhia, they will appoint a person locally. They will pay them. We want to give the entire ownership to the community. Like the waste is being generated at the community level, so you should manage it and you should dispose it. And we are just going to facilitate you with all the government schemes we have. We'll converge everything and we'll just facilitate all the panchayats and villages here. Here we have targeted 177 panchayats, where already some good number of structures have come up. Like you can see the waste segregation sheds are there. And we are trying to make a circuit of it that in villages waste segregation will be done, and then there will be clusters at the block level next. And then we have a district level unit. It's in a very nascent stage, so I couldn't share the picture, sir. It will be completed in 2 months' time. And here we have planned the forward linkage that the single-use plastic will be managed here, and we'll try to generate revenue out of that waste. And so we are going to then disperse it in a manner, all those people who are involved in the collection of waste and movement and all the SHGs or the voluntary organizations which are there, we'll disperse the funds in that manner. For starters, we have in all the Gram Panchayats, we have done a lot of IC activities to promote this basic understanding of waste segregation, because still here segregation is not easily understood by people. So we have just कि आपको एक बोरी में भरना है and you have to send it to one jali. So you just remember that bori is there and jali is there, and you just collect this waste will be put in bori and then it will be transferred to jali. From there, our trained SHG people, our trained NGOs or our machinery will take over, and from here we are going to take it forward. So all the vehicles, manpower, everything is being sponsored either by 15 Finance or Narega. In 15 Finance, I would like to reiterate that Mukhias are playing a very important role here, sir. They are taking initiatives, they are making plan for their panchayats. And the reason being that we involve all the PRI members in each and every activity, be it workshop, orientation or meeting. Like we have meeting in every month, we have a meeting for Swachh Bharat Mission and with all the PRI members, and we take feedback from them and we ask them to make a specific plan, customized plan for their own panchayat. So that is helping us a lot in taking this plastic waste and grey water management to a next level. Next. Apart from this, menstrual waste is a problem because again the population is scattered. The schools and Anganwadis, schools, high schools are also there in like kind of remote areas. So collection from a point and then taking it to another level for incineration is a difficult activity here. So we have installed incinerators, and the best part is that it is a positive attitude is there in the community, and people have accepted this manual incinerator very well. We were kind of skeptical earlier, but they have they have acceptability for it, and it is working very well in all our high schools and the residential schools, residential girls schools. Next. This is another activity which we are doing and which has been really successful, sir. This is one, and next one will be coming up in like a month or two. Govardhan, like as I said that we have huge cattle population, particularly in Koderma district, we have a huge cattle population. So we are using this to generate the biogas. And here community is very active in this particular project. Community has shown a lot of participation and they are very positive towards it. Next, very positive towards it. As you can see, this is the data, sir. Feedstock per day is 750 kgs and 22 beneficiaries. It's a small project, 22 beneficiaries are there, and beneficiary contribution is just 100 per month. So it's very easy for them to contribute. and it has a better acceptability. And when we saw that this project is successful in one place, we are implementing it to other places as well. So our strategy here is that we are facing few challenges in way of the population being very scattered, and lots of forest areas are there and some hard to reach areas are there. So we want that community and the Mukhya, the PRI members, then and there, they should be totally responsible for what kind of plans they want to come up for waste segregation and waste disposal. For this, we are actively engaging them in all the activities we are doing. And in fact, they are making the plans and we are kind of just implementing it. So this is our strategy. And final takeaway would be, sir, that in rural areas also, as we see, lots of different kinds of wastes are being generated. Like I said, that plastic is one menace. We are taking care of it by having a bigger plant at the district level, and then smaller setups are there. Next is a textile waste, like lots of used clothes and all are there in the, even in semi-urban areas. In the landfills, we find lots of used clothes are there. So we have made a collection points for these used clothes, and we are coming up with a plan. We already have an agency in place who is going to train these SHG members and the sanitation workers for stitching those, doing some stitching in those clothes and making bags out of it, reusable bags out of it. So in one place, we are talking about the menace of single-use plastic. So we want to give them alternative to people in terms of bags are available, cloth bags are available. And one problem which I personally have seen in rural areas, whenever we have any function or any marriage, wedding is there, styrofoam is lots of styrofoam cups and plates are used. So for that also, to prevent the usage of that and to promote local produce, we have already installed some dona patal making units. As I already mentioned, that we have lots of forest area. So easily there are forest management committees with whom the SHG members are tying up, and they collect the leaves and then they bake this dona patal. And we are promoting this dona patal in all the activities or all the official functions we have, and for local level also. So it's entirely community based, and we don't want to create any legacy waste in the rural area. And so from people from ground zero, they should participate in this whole process. And we here are talking about a personality change of the society actually. I mean, structures could be put in place, but until unless we realize that sanitation is one of the most important part of our life, and until unless the population realizes that this is a core activity which has to be done on daily basis, and it's not the job of the government, or it's not some part-time activity, then only we can achieve our true goal of Swachh Bharat, which we talk about. So this is from my side, ma'am. So, sir, thank you.
Thank you, Megha. Some excellent work being done by you and your team in Jharkhand. As we all know, Jharkhand still has a fair amount of open defecation, and I'm glad to see that you are prioritizing toilets. And states like Jharkhand, Bihar, they really need to go back to the basics and ensure that their toilet story is actually brought to a close. So yes, I'm very happy to see that you are focusing on toilets. Please innovate in toilets as much as you can. Another area which seems to have found favor with Koderma is your Govardhan plant. Now you are aware of the ceiling on SBM funds at 50 lakhs per district. So beyond that, we don't encourage you to set up. But please look at the biogas plants that you can set up under MG Narega and under MNRE funds. So I will request you, if you think that biogas plants or Govardhan plants are selling like hotcakes in Koderma, please feel free to use MNRE funds and to use Narega funds to set up biogas plants.
Sure,
last suggestion for you, please, you have Jharkhand is doing excellent work on menstrual hygiene management. We have recently issued an advisory for how to ensure that the communities now start practicing menstrual hygiene management. I hope you have had time to study it. I'd be very interested to see districts taking the advisory and implementing it on the ground. Please look at the advisory that has been circulated, and please see how you can construct incineration facilities at the block level, either at the plastic waste management unit level or at the segregation shed level, using 15 Finance Commission funds. As on date, SBM does not allow for spending of these incinerators, so you will have to source them using 15 FC funds. But Jila Panchayat funds and Block Panchayat funds are more than readily available. They may be prioritized for setting up these incinerator facilities at the community, at the segregation shed or the plastic waste management unit level. So
Yes.
please see if you can push the menstrual hygiene management, take it out from the school system. We would now like to bring it to the community.
Yes.
So far, we have been concentrating only on schools. It's high time we move to the community.
Yes.
With these observations, thank you, Megha, once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megha. Now coming to the last presentation of the day, which will be given by CEO Zilla Parishad Dakshin Kannada from Karnataka. Anand, over to you.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Just loading the PowerPoint, sir. Sir, Dakshina Kannada district is a coastal district in the state of Karnataka, sir. We are uniquely located in terms of Western Ghats on one side and the coast on the other side, sir. We have multiple rivers, major rivers being Netravati, Gurupura and Kumaradhara, sir. So the amount of the dry waste, especially the plastic waste getting generated, especially in the upper reaches, they have the tendency of getting into the river streams and finally ending up in the oceans. So with an aim of targeting these plastic and waste, dry waste, which are reaching these water bodies, we have to stop that. With the aim, we started two initiatives, sir. From the state government, we got the support of entering into a memorandum of understanding with the self-help groups. All the Gram Panchayats of the district have entered with the MOU with the self-help groups, who are basically the house-to-house, door-to-door waste collection units. They are operating that. They conduct the regular EC activities, and the segregated waste are then taken to the respective Gram Panchayats. Next. So previously, the entire management of the waste were happening at the level of Gram Panchayats only. But at the level of Gram Panchayats, there were multiple problems faced, especially low income generating Gram Panchayats, which were not able to create a successful business model out of this waste management. So many of the Gram Panchayats were suffering from this. Few Gram Panchayats were having a good Gram Panchayat enterprise model, which was running successfully. However, these Gram Panchayats which were not able to make the economies of scale and the successful business model, their waste eventually ended up in the neighboring Gram Panchayats or in the water bodies. Also, there was a shortage of space in the Gram Panchayat, because majority of the Panchayats, especially in certain taluks of the districts, were in the reserved forest localities. And around 40% of the low value items, the Gram Panchayats were not able to scientifically dispose those items. And the Swachh Sankirana, we call it, the waste collection centers, they were also getting piled up with these waste, and they were not able to get the end user agreement. The Gram Panchayats did not have the wherewithal to enter into an agreement with the co-processing or an upcycling industry of those products. Only the high yield products were being auctioned by the Gram Panchayats, and rest of the 40% of the low value items were getting stockpiled in the Gram Panchayats itself, and there were higher operational costs. So these were the reasons where we thought there should be a cluster-based approach, and we came up with the material recovery facility. So material recovery facility is a semi-mechanized structure, and the process of waste collection happens through the SHG members at the level of the households. Later, when it reaches the material recovery facility, the waste are being segregated into almost 22 different driveways were being segregated, and they are being sent to the end user agencies such as cement factories for co-processing, or plastic industries or textile industries for upcycling. So there was a complete traceability traceability of the materials from source to end destination. And apart from that, there were also local jobs getting created in these material recovery facilities, and they have been given proper wages and health benefits of the staff. So the process is the house-to-house door collection happens by the Gram Panchayats through the SL groups, and once it reaches the material recovery facility, we have all the trommels and baling machines, and after segregations, they are being packed and sent. And as we can see, the unit of a material recovery facility, we have 4 such facilities in the district. The first one in Mangalore Taluk itself, we mapped 51 Gram Panchayats to a particular material recovery facility. And initially, there was certain difficulties to collect those dry waste from the Gram Panchayat level and sending it to the MRF facility. Later, based on continuous motivation and IEC campaigns, we started getting the dry waste to the material recovery facility, and we were monitoring the amount of waste which were reaching the material recovery facility from the Gram Panchayats, and from those Gram Panchayats where no such waste have been given in accordance with their population, we were focusing and conducting more campaigns and activities there. So this became a single point of accounting for the waste which has been flowing through the to the MRFs. So at present, through these 4 MRFs, all the Gram Panchayats in the entire district have been tagged to these MRFs. The capacity of the MRF, the first MRF was 10 tons per day, and subsequently 3 MRFs were having 10 tons per day handling capacity. These are the basic details about the area of these MRF centers, the capacity and the estimated costs. So the first MRF costs almost cost us 4 crores, and the other 3 MRFs cost us 2 crores. So as we can see from the table, it is not only from the SBM funds. We have to make it more participative. We sourced the funds from the Taluk Panchayat also, Zilla Panchayat also, and also from the participating Gram Panchayats. So it is kind of an 4-party agreement wherein Zilla Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat, Gram Panchayat and the MRF operator enters into a common platform. There is a local checks and balances also. The Gram Panchayats and the Zilla Panchayats have the access to the MRFs to take a look at the accounts of the MRFs and what is the amount of waste coming in and going out. So these are the images of the MRFs. And the process of the MRF operator selection is through a transparent tendering notification, and we had a pre-bid meeting. And since it was one of its kind initiative, there were many queries which were posed to us. After getting through the initial hiccups, we finally went to a zero-cost model. The zero-cost model is that neither the operator, the MRF operator, or the Gram Panchayats has to pay. When we initially started with this idea, there were kind of a little discussion whether the Gram Panchayat should pay the MRF or whether the MRF operator should pay the Gram Panchayats in return for the waste material getting collected from these Gram Panchayats. Finally, after stakeholder consultation, we came to a conclusion that the zero-cost model is better. The MRF operator has to collect whatever waste, whether be it high value waste or low value waste, which is generated by the Gram Panchayats. It has to be handed over in toto to the MRF operator. And the Gram Panchayat shall not charge any of the money to the MRF operator also for this waste. And once the waste has been given, it is weighed at the level of collection from the Gram Panchayat, and once it reaches the MRF center, it again is weighed so that there is end-to-end traceability. So this prevented the previous problem of waste getting shifted from one place to another rather than getting handled scientifically. So the responsibility of the operator includes maintenance of the operation, and the vehicle. The MRF operator is supposed to have that vehicle and the vehicle maintenance, the fuel cost, and the operation including sorting, baling, and dispatchment to the end destination, and also the compliances of the fire safety and the labor laws compliances has to be the responsibility of the operator. And the responsibility of the Gram Panchayats is also clearly defined in the agreement that there should be a collection of dry waste, and only dry waste shall reach the MRF. There should not be any wet waste which is being sent to the MRF. And also the MRF operators were initially facing a trouble of only receiving low value items in the MRFs, and the Gram Panchayats were locally selling those high value dry waste which are being collected at the level of Gram Panchayats. But however, after multiple stakeholder consultations and meetings, now the total waste, including high value and low value waste, dry waste which are being generated, are being handed over to the MRF operators. And the responsibility of the Zilla Panchayat is that we provide the regular administrative support, and we regularly supervise, and also we collect monthly reports, including the income statements of the MRF operators. So we have also got CSR funds from SKDRTP, from District Mineral Fund, and public sector undertakings and banks for successful running of this MRF, and continuous IEC activities to ensure that there is a proper segregation of waste which are happening are also being conducted regularly. So the impact created is that currently we are collecting 15 metric tons of dry waste on a daily basis throughout the district, which previously were not accounted for because we were not able to maintain such an account, and also they were out of waste, and almost more than 100 green jobs for local. And all operating cost for the Gram Panchayats has reduced, and the Gram Panchayats capacity to hold those waste in the Swachh Sankirana has increased. Now there is no problem, no dearth of space in the Gram Panchayats, because the MRF operator goes to the respective Gram Panchayats on a prefixed date and a scheduled time, and that kind of a trust is there between the MRF operator and the Gram Panchayat. So the Gram Panchayats also is comfortable holding that waste till the MRF operator comes. So we are the first in the entire state to map all the 223 Gram Panchayats with an MRF unit. And these are the various end user agreement which are ensured by the MRF operator, because for each and every waste we ensure that the MRF operator has an end user agreement so that the waste doesn't get spilled over spilled anywhere. These are the different companies and the places to which the waste goes. The PET bottles and the paper cups goes to ITC, and PET bottles goes to recycled yarn, and even this low value multi-layered plastics are being sent to cement factories for co-processing for being used as an fuel in the cement factories. These are the few end user agreements. And this is the income and expenditure statement of a typical MRF unit for a month. For this month, if we see if the total collection is almost 5 tons, we can see the total revenue is around 10,53,000, and the kind of expenditure, including the staff salary and the maintenance, electricity, fuel, truck operations, everything comes out around 9.96 lakhs, giving them a profit margin of 56,000 per month, almost 5% of the profit. So these are the detailed split of the income and the expenditure statement of the MRF operator, and the selling price per kg of different kind of waste. Certain prices were mentioned in the negative because they are paying the transporters for certain low value waste for transporting it to co-processing, especially the segregated and combustible SCF fraction and the multi-layered plastic fractions. So the way forward that we are looking at is that the waste which are plastic roads are planned using the waste recovered at the MRF, and there is another World Bank aided project being implemented by the Forest Environment and Ecology Department under the name K-Shore, and we are planning to have one more additional MRF in one taluk called Ulal Taluk. Also, since this is in fishing based activities also predominantly happening here, for the fishing packaging industry, thermocol waste and other low value plastic waste are also getting generated in huge amounts, especially in the coastal areas. So we are planning to have a particular intervention for that under K-Shore project. Also, installation of trash barriers to collect is also in the pipeline under the K-Shore project. So thank you, sir. This is from my side. We also have one video, sir. If we have time, we can go about the video, sir.
I think we'll skip the video. We are running against a tight schedule, but please do share it. We'll pass it on to all the people Thanks, Anand. That was a good presentation, and it is something which we have been requesting all the states and the districts to go for higher denomination material recovery facilities to manage your plastic waste. And I think the fact that you are turning a profit of almost 50,000 per month, that comes to almost 6 to 7 lakhs per annum. And I think that goes into the kitty of the Jila Parishad, which shows that running an MRF is a profitable venture. So you are the proof of that concept, and I hope more Jila Panchayats across the country will get inspired after seeing your presentation, and we'll see many more such MRFs in the near future. So if anybody has any questions or any suggestions, this is the time for the open discussion. Over to you. Just raise your hand, we'll call you out. Chale, I think it has been a very lucid and five very quick snapshot presentations. The fact that almost the entire country is watching you. They have all, and this will be we have videotaped it also, so that we'll be circulating it to all the districts which may have missed it. We just hope that the points that have been raised today by the young colleagues at the district level will be taken up for emulation in various states, and we hope to see much more innovative work happening and being displayed here on this forum. And I would now like to thank everybody for having come here today. And over to you, Kritika, for the final honors.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank all the presenting collectors and the COZP from Dakshina Kannada, and all the MDs and other collectors who have also joined us here. As sir has already directed, we'll be sharing the material with you. I would request all the presenting participants that share a brief note also along with your PPT, so that we can share it through the mail. And for the next month's Collector Samvad also, I would like to request the states again that please send in your nomination in time so that we are able to shortlist the same and inform the participants accordingly. Thank you again.